This is the Beige and the Bold, and today we are watching Redemption Part 2. I'm Van Velding, and I watched this Civil War breakout when it originally aired.
And I'm Derek. This is the first time watching this Civil War breakout.
You ready?
Yep.
And 3, 2, 1, engage. It's, last time it was really Civil War-y.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we had the two Cleons super mad at each other. Now we get the recap, right? So we get some crazy eyes from Gowron.
Yep. I absolutely love these recap sequences are a classic.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, because it's got Majel Barrett and she's there last time on Star Trek.
Oh yeah,
Generation.
that's
she
true.
tells you about everything, and that's how they format the two-parters. I think throughout Voyager.
Yeah, it is kind of amazing. Like you'll see every now and again, Worf when he's surrounded by Klingons feels like very much like I think I'm using this right, a Mary Sue. He's just like, guys, but we shouldn't be fighting. He's like, no, let's stab him in the gut. It's like, what?
Well, that's not so much a Mary Sue. I thought you meant the way that he gets on a Klingon ship and he's like, I'm gonna do science stuff that none of you idiots can do. Like, we have college in the Federation. And they're like, oh, what?
I mean, partly that, too. Like, because he advocates for, legitimate strategy. And it's like, what? No, we're just going to fight. We're just going to keep fighting. One of us is going to win. That's it.
Yeah. And Worf was like, no, you need to build anti-tank infantry. You need to put them into a trap. Yeah. And you got to set all your production to be infantry. You just got to do it, man.
So, yeah, we get trapped into this. And, That little shot where you see the guy, we're panning over the guy that has a face injury, who's essentially sitting at a computer.
Yeah.
Imagine if your computers were so volatile, they could kill you.
Yeah. That is one of the most popular critiques of this series is the exploding consoles. But it's dramatic as fuck.
I mean, yeah, for sure. And so here we go. This is right off the bat. Worf is like, hey, listen, you should do like Starfleet does. And he's like, do what I say. Oh, damn. Brother's mad.
Yeah. But we immediately see the conflict. We immediately see that they're losing.
Right.
And we also get to see Kern do some stuff.
Yeah. I mean, he does this weird, close to the sun, but not close enough to die, maneuver. You kind of would have expected these pursuing, I forget what they're called, ships will have a range that would keep them out of the sun. They could have said, he's gone to the sun, we're just going to keep our range and keep shooting.
One of the things about Star Trek is that they have all these maneuvers that in universe would probably be very old and predictable, but out of universe to us, they're brand new and really clever. So, as far as, the whole kiss, kiss, bang, bang, don't hold a gun right in a guy's back.
Yeah.
They don't have that. They're really anxious. So yeah, that sun effect, I think, was, a bunch of oatmeal on a table that vibrated. And
really?
They did an inverse of that, tied it orange and slapped it over some light and you got a nice little sun.
I mean, that was the most anticlimactic effect. It's oh no, it got slightly louder. Oh, they exploded. Okay.
Yeah, they flew into it. They made a wake, a sun wake. Yeah.
Yes.
What these ships can do kind of varies from episode to episode, but suns are dangerous. It's something they're fairly consistent about. Yeah,
that's fair. We don't get to see different kinds of suns. We only ever get to see the sun that looks like ours.
We might get some later ones later. I don't think we ever get any actual neutron stars or anything.
Yeah.
Which admittedly, neutron stars are pretty heckin' dangerous.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, I'm sure there are almost a billion different kinds of star situations alone that you could run into that are pretty dangerous. And so here, go ahead.
We get back to the Romulan collusion storyline.
Yeah.
Actually,
exactly.
Where they're actually aiding Klingon rebels in the Ukraine. So we.
Yeah, so it's hey, we should do a blockade. It's yes, but Picard, have you thought about? Oh no, this is where he's about to do the blockade thing. And it's like, yeah, but have you thought about Z-space? How will you solve the Z-space problem?
Commander Rika is our best pilot. Explain it. We never worry about Z-space.
Yeah, you're probably the first person to ever bring up Z-space. No one knows about Z-space.
Yeah, look, the rest of us, and he reaches under a table, he pulls out like an old dog-eared leather-bound book. It's naval tactics and strategy for a gentleman of the 18th century. He's like, this is the book we use. It says you blockade the choke points. And it's like, it's space. There's no choke points. It's like, no. Every space between two stars is a choke point.
Yeah. So, like, when he's talking about this beam, I'm thinking they're all, like, sitting in a line. Like, I would have loved it if at the very least at that point, he said, an arc. Like, we'll have an arc of tachyons. It's like, oh, okay, so we're talking about 3 space then. Like, you know, if you're talking about, an arc, then I know that we're on a sphere. Or no, not an arc. I forgot what the 3D, topography.
A vector?
No, vector is like direction plus magnitude. Yeah. But like you have, like if you were to have a sphere and you were to have basically 3 points on that sphere and connect them, that curvature has a name, and I forgot. I thought it was an arc, but maybe I'm not so confident now. Anyway, my 3D calculus is rusty. So anyway, anything that wasn't just a line.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. So yeah, the tachyon net thing. Well, we're in the credit. There are 3 stories here at play.
Right.
And I don't know that they all fit comfortably in here.
I would say they don't.
The Worf story is interesting. The tachyon net story is interesting, and then the sub story within the tachyon net story, which is like 3 scenes of data.
Yeah.
Is interesting. That one could have been its own episode.
Yeah, but say, if by interesting you mean uncomfortable.
I mean, racism's uncomfortable, Derek, and it should be.
I mean, yeah, it definitely should be. It's just
racism is only comfortable for the oppressor, Derek.
I really just wanted, like, data to, like, you know what? I don't need you. I can actually run this ship and all of the other ships in this net by myself. Like, and he goes full on, like, take over the Enterprise mode.
Yeah. Like he has a little thing that he made. He's like, all right, screw this. And he hits the button. He's like, all right. And he just stops talking to people and starts taking over the ship. Goes to war with Romulus. Wins.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like, Captain Picard, I suggest that I take command of 12 vessels. It's like, well, we don't have that many data. It's like, oh, well, since I don't sleep, I've actually been working on a ship-sized 3D printer. So we do actually have 12 ships. It's off the quadrant. I can have them here in about like 30 minutes if you want.
Remember those nanites from last season? 2 seasons ago? Instead of making them eat ships, I made them barf up ships. It's perfectly thermodynamically legit.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Here's some ship names. The Tiananmen, which the Tiananmen Square only happened a few years before this, and that's exactly what it's named for.
Oh, slick.
Yeah. So, it's a subtle subtweet from Star Trek.
Yeah, wasn't like Will supposed to command this Excalibur at some point? Was that a throwback?
Maybe. I know the Excalibur has its own novel series.
Yeah.
And Commander Shelby is in it.
This is interesting right here, where he's all like, hey, listen, I'm actually more capable than all of you. How about throwing me a ship?
Yeah, suddenly for some reason no one believes in Data's ability to command. And the thing is that this isn't even like a, look, we need you to hug all of the boneless people of Centaur 5 and then also deal with the world's most emotionally fragile crew. He's like, no, this might be a combat situation. You have to do a technical thing with your ship and stuff, so I don't know if you're cut out for it, Data.
Yeah.
What are your right brain skills?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, you mean that? What about like that time that I took over the Enterprise by myself? Is that? Could I do that?
It's like attacking on that, I guess.
It's like attacking.
I have no idea why Picard's reluctant, except that of all of the legit android racism, bigotry storylines we could have in this series, they go for the overt, clumsy one of everyone being completely irrational.
And so here we get a different kind of racism, which is a little bit more covert.
I'm just angry they didn't, when they did the digital remastering, they didn't put a fucking mosh pit in here, because it would have worked a lot better.
I really want to see like a 12-string Klingon guitar now.
Honestly, I could see them moshing to Klingon opera. I mean, just whatever works for these people.
I mean, I assume Klingon opera is just like death metal.
Dude, you paid for that drink.
Yeah. He stole that drink from some other dude that wasn't alpha enough to keep it.
The entire currency is just secondhand testosterone.
Yeah. And so, why didn't you let him just nail him? Everyone's punching each other. What the hell? At first, I kind of thought this was going to be this is some weird version of Klingon diplomacy. Them just messing with each other, even though they're on opposite sides.
You got that's perfectly good liquor. What's wrong with you people? Are you here to get drunk or throw drinks around?
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Your Worf's hey, do you know anything about? I'm gonna throw a term at you, and brother, and I'd like to see if you understand it. Operational security.
And Gowron's I hate those guys. How do we feel
about that?
Guy's is that K-pop? He just doesn't know.
It's unfortunate that Worf, being the weeb that he is just so much of a he just stands out so much in this kind of scene, which I know he's supposed to, but it's also kind of weird, that we have a lot of these quote savages who are all dark skinned, and they're doing a lot of what's going to read to the audience is a lot of things.
I don't think the initial read was trying to be dumb. It is, these are warriors, this is a warrior culture. They have exactly one goddamn attribute, and it's spelled with 2 R's and a W. 3 R's and a W. Damn it.
Yeah.
So, I'm the first guy to go on about how Klingon culture in many ways mimics stereotypes of American black culture, or at least the white perspective of it.
Right.
And that's why I've always advocated to have black actors play Klingons. Because if you're gonna take this society and base it on those stereotypes to this extent, you should make it nuanced. You should explore the virtues of it.
It's so shallow. You can have something that has there's so much about honor, but he's are you nothing but duty? He's wait a minute, honor and duty. I mean, what? I don't understand what I'm getting kind of flack for here.
Yeah, if you call back to season 1, those other guys who were trying to steal the Enterprise to make Kronos great again.
Yeah.
Worf gives them the same speech, where you talk about honor, where's your duty, where's your loyalty, where's all that stuff?
Right.
And that seems to be endemic to the Klingon Empire, and I think that two-facedness does give them some depth.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of give that. I guess I don't know. We don't see kind of Klingon music or Klingon art or Klingon strategy or anything like that. It's just we're gonna fight and we're gonna die well, and that's gonna be cool.
Can we talk about Hobson here, who's about to be Oklahoma still exists in the future, I guess.
Oh yeah,
because he's about to give us a litany of terrible stereotypes.
Yeah, he is definitely from Space Oklahoma for sure.
And it's Hobson, this ship barely works. You're the senior officer who's been looking at it working. You have to do a mission, I don't know if anyone mentioned this, to stop a war with Romulus and stop a Klingon civil war. And you're no, is there a USS fishing boat I could be assigned to?
Do you have no sense of your career? I mean, which maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's more of a scientist or something like that. But Dave should have said, hey, listen, I don't need you, actually. You can go chill in the deck or whatever if you want. I can do your job. It's fine.
I feel like Data could have just started with the pimp slap here. I don't have a frame of reference for responding to this. Also,
response not
I'm insulted. It's just the things you said about Klingon counselors and Borellian engineers.
You're
just a dick. So you're a dick.
Right. What do you mean Klingons can't be counselors?
It's like, this man's an asshole. Is anyone here not an asshole?
I'm surrounded by assholes.
Everyone on the Sutherland who's an asshole, raise your hand. Like, you're fuck me.
Oh, damn it. Why did I get this one? I had to ask for a command. I had to say Picard. Why don't I get a ship?
Yeah. So yeah, here we're dealing with the, here's 3 women in a scene and they're, almost not talking about a man.
I like this. This is, this dude's kind of really nailing the petulant child, like, I want to be helpful, acting that he's doing, which is good.
Yeah, he's great. I mean, it's a great way to show that he's just a figurehead. We get reintroduced to all of these people. I mentioned Game of Thrones. We get reintroduced to all of them really quickly.
Right.
Which is great.
Yeah, and there's a lot of economy here as far as, like, reminding us who the players are and how they're playing the game.
Yeah. It's very efficient.
Right.
I'm a big fan of it. So, and we get another scene of Worf not really fitting in with Klingon culture, not really getting how things actually work.
Yep. And so this is kind of funny because I thought like this was someone from Duras's camp that showed up and like Duras has so many men they're just going to be like, hey, let's just once a week send like a challenger to Gowron. Eventually someone's going to knife him, right?
Yeah, just wait for Gowron to have an off day.
Yeah, it's like, man, because I mean, that's to me like the most efficient Klingon strategy of any kind of coup. If you're you just like find one dude that like you find basically a platoon of guys that you're loyal to, and then see, poor Worf. Worf's like, guys, we shouldn't be fighting. We need every man. We don't have a lot of men here. And Gowron's like, I'm gonna shank this dude. And it's like, what? And he's like, you don't understand, Worf. He's like, obviously. I obviously don't understand.
Yeah. Worf intervenes and Gowron still gets the W and everyone's pretty much cool with that. And I'm like, how does that work?
Where's the honor? I thought we were all about the honor part. What happened?
I like the new guy in the corner is like, excuse me, what does this armor do?
Shouldn't our honor stop?
It's really hot. It's like super hot. And I just thought always, if I were to get stabbed, it would help a little, but it doesn't seem that it does.
So Worf like leaves Klingon culture, he leaves Starfleet, and he opens up his own like air conditioning service for the Klingons. and fashion line.
Yeah.
Are you tired of armor that doesn't work for you?
Now you don't have to choose between fashion and comfort.
Yeah, so he's like, I'm going to show Data. He denied me my request. I'm going to just do the job that I can do anyway. I'm just going to subvert his authority. Ha. Yeah. And Data's like, hey, that's not appropriate. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. And he gets like super butthurt about this. And it's like,
yeah. I mean, Data also gets super butthurt about this. I mean, how many times is Picard like, and Riker's like, I got it. Red alert. Shields up. Forward phaser banks. And he looks at Picard's eyebrows like 45%, 45% work. I can do it. I mean, I get that they have a synchronicity.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure.
Data obviously don't.
That's a very good point.
But still, it's just Data saying, yeah, I'm in charge here, man. Don't just ignore me. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. And, and maybe he realizes on some level that it's like, hey, I have to, like, not put him in his place, but, like, hey, listen, remind you, like, remember, this is how a number one works with a captain. Like, this is how our relationship should be. For the sake of the crew, blah, blah, blah. Because, I mean, it's a real concern, right? Like, if I'm, like dumb navigator ensign, and how do I know who I take my orders from? If Data gives me an order, and I don't, and, like, so-and-so, Hobson doesn't give me an order, do I follow it? Like, you need to have one person.
No, that's fair. That's fair. It shows, however, that Data is doing something that's slightly irrational, but that exists within a human context.
He can't have done anything irrational because he doesn't have emotions.
So, but we are beginning to see that he is adapting to the situation. It's just past doing the logical thing, and it's great.
Yeah. I like that he's like, oh damn, Starfleet has drawn a kite in 3D space. We can't go around it. It's miles, literally miles. We have light year warp capacity. We could just go to the edge of it and then go around it, cloaked the whole time.
And Silo's like, no. Do you know how long I've waited my entire career? When I was an ensign on a Romulan freighter and Picard was like a lieutenant commander, I almost, we were on board, and I almost popped it then just to throw him off his rhythm. Yeah, but now I'm gonna throw him off his rhythm like nothing else.
It's like, oh man, so what's gonna happen? Or is there some weird cloning plot? Is there some weird? No, there's no weird plot here. It's just everyone's gonna be super uncomfortable when they do this net maneuver.
It's just it's like, whose space are they in right now? Are they in Gowron space? Are they in Duros' space? I mean, they're clearly not in Romulan space.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. And so this is this is funny. So we have the two kind of like women who aren't Guinan that give advice.
yeah.
And then he's like, yeah, no, none of that matters. And then Guinan's gonna walk in. He's like, hey, am I interrupting? No. He's like, hey, listen, all that matters. What?
The thing is, Guinan is down there telling someone a story about one of her kids and how she's 1,000,000 years old and making them like an alcoholic chocolate drink. And that was from Community. Yeah, okay, all right. Like, where the hell did I get chocolate drink from? Yeah, so they put hot cocoa in like cocoa mix. Anyway, and she's like, wait, I have to vague about something. Yeah. She goes upstairs.
And it's like, am I intruding? He's like, no, I was just thinking I could use a drink. Yes, I'll have a mojito, please. All right, go on. Off you go.
Oh, I'm sorry. Word travels fast. When Ensign bolt off the f***ing bridge, be like, oh my god, Guinan, the weirdest thing just happened. I wouldn't believe this. Looks like Yar, who neither of us ever met.
I mean, this is
I know you want to hear about this Guinan. Sorry.
So if you're going to have like if you're going to pull some plot point out of thin air, it's not going to be relevant at all, and it doesn't do anything. Why does it have to be from Guinan? Like, couldn't Troy have done that? Couldn't Troy have just been like, I feel like this is still important, though. There's something here. Because, I mean, that's what's going to happen. He's like, that's dumb. You just have the vague intuition, blah, blah, blah. And then later on, Tasha Yar is going to be like, this is what happened. It was time travel. And Guinan's going to be like, got him.
I talk a lot about how comic books are a genre of science fiction, like a subgenre.
Yeah.
And surely nothing reinforces that view like the motherfucking comic book plot of Sela returning in Star Trek The Next Generation.
Yeah.
Like, it is straight out of Marvel comics.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, he died, but not really. Like, I mean, that's...
Yeah.
It's classic Marvel, is a favorite died, and you find a way to bring him back.
So, surprising no one, Denise Crosby pitched this. She's like, what if Yar had a daughter? And like, this is convoluted and pointless, but, it's series finale, so let's do it.
Yeah.
And so that's what we have here. It's time travel, and plus one of those very convenient kids that look exactly like the parent. Romulan genes be recessive as fuck.
Yeah, no joke. Oh, she's like legit just a human with a Romulan haircut.
Yeah, it's like even the ears aren't real. She had to get those done to assimilate. No hair dye for fuck's sake, but yeah.
So I mean, this is kind of funny that, Worf's like, hey, listen, I don't want to be tactless here, but we need people manning these explosive consoles. Shouldn't he just kind of like stop challenges until the war is done? It's like, no, what? And just not do an honor challenge? Like, what are you talking about? Also, I love how, like, the second his brother leaves, like, these two just run over and kick the crap out of Worf.
I like how Curtin's like, no, we dine with our enemies. This is fun. What could possibly go wrong? Yeah. Next scene in the exact same bar.
Yeah.
The answer to Curtin's question happens. Like, he said, not ever do this?
He said, like, listen, they're surrounded by our guys, but our guys are surrounded by their guys, so it's fine. So it basically means that none of like Worf's side like took his spot. Like no one helped him out. Like when he just got like, and not even a second after the dude was off camera.
The deal is Worf is just a huge nerd and no one likes him.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. It is consistent with his place in Klingon society, though, where like he really doesn't fit in.
I still want Worf to be kind of like the chosen one, like the person that will show Klingons how to be Klingons, like how to be Klingons that aren't constantly at war.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he's uniquely suited for that. But yeah, I like this. It's like, yeah, he's like, go for it. He's like, you do know about Z-Space, right?
Yeah.
Like, I actually don't even need cloaking devices.
Yeah. Because we don't know who controls this space. I guess they're just looking for hard evidence.
Maybe so.
And I guess that this is where our modern American politics bit breaks down, because in modern American politics, if they're like, yeah, we found a cloaked fleet of Romulan ships that was supporting one side of this civil war, people would go, yeah, fake news. And that'd be the end of the episode, and nothing would change. So admittedly, Star Trek is also, this episode specifically, a little unrealistic in that there are consequences for information.
Yeah.
But go figure.
Yeah, so here she's like, hey, look, like, I actually know how impossible my origin story is, but I'm going to let you know, time travel.
Yeah. It is a great play on it, where he's figured it out, and she's like, all right, I had a whole thing planned. There's like a tiny Romulan outside, there's like, don't do the PowerPoint. Don't do the PowerPoint. It looks stupid now. He knows already. He knows. That's a picture of a uterus. All right. It's just not... Fine. Okay,
so I'm glad we just didn't go with like the pedophilia, because that was going to be like Romulans and the pedophilia was going to be super odd. I'll take time travel over that. For sure.
Yeah, time travel. Yeah.
But it's it's wild. This is.
But truly, Sela, the Romulans wouldn't just clone random Federation officers just to like with the heads of Starfleet in 20 years, would they? And Sela's like, no, they wouldn't do that. That's stupid. And if they did, I'd know about it.
He's like, listen, I'm gonna just like gaslight you, like so completely, you're gonna think you're a clone.
Yeah, I do like her story. Like Denise Crosby does well with it. What's a pretty good story about her origins and who Sela is.
Yeah. Do we see Sela again? Like, can you tell me that, or is that like going to be too big of a reveal? Or
look, man, if they were going to make Sela a big reveal, it would have been right now.
Okay.
And don't get me wrong, Storytime in the Observation Lounge is one of my favorite times. But she does come back.
Okay, that's good.
And it doesn't spoil anything to say that. I feel like they could have done something more with the character than they have here.
Yeah, so maybe she wanted to know more about her mother, and so she finds these weird excuses to like get tangled up with the Enterprise.
Just like with Worf, I would want her to like be in both of those worlds, right?
Right.
Where she's like, I'm so great at being a Romulan because I have this human element to me.
Right.
And I'm more than just human because I have these Romulan elements. And you know, we'll see how that plays out.
She bites his beard, which is really weird. Ugh. Yeah.
Interrogation via lap dance doesn't seem super effective, but historically I know it has been kind of effective.
The subtitles say, I think it was aggressively purring. And I'm like, I don't know if that's purring. I don't know if...
All right, well, good job, Bator. You've got half of him interrogated.
Yeah. I think it's funny how, like, they picked the Klingon that's least likely to fall for this.
I know, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, he is touch deprived, but like, it's not. He's like a decent bro.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
Yeah, he's like, no, listen, it's not right to like betray everything I know. Like, I don't wanna.
Look, I know you guys are trying to get my loyalty by sleeping with me, but Gowron already did that.
Yeah.
All right.
All All right, that's fair. That's fair.
The political landscape has shifted slightly.
Bator comes back with like a rubber dildo.
Anything would have been more interesting than just boob windows grind on Worf and Worf be like, I don't care. Like, they have nothing to offer him. Like, we understand that Worf is an honorable guy.
Yeah. And the most unrealistic part of it is that there are no sparks. Like, literal sparks. With all this metal, I mean, come on.
Again, I'm just going to have to bash the digital remastering. You could have thrown some sparks in there, man. Just a little bit of metal on metal grinding.
And so this is another thing, like how much the Romulans are kind of engaged in the process here, right? And it's like, wait a minute, no, we wanted to do this whole femme fatale thing. And he's like, yeah, no, we're done with that. We're not doing this anymore. Take him away, go torture him.
It was stupid. You kind of knew it was stupid.
Yeah, we just let you have your fun because I had to take a bath or something.
Also, I am the first person in the history of intelligence organizations to ask this, but could you please put the tape back over your webcam? Seal it out.
Seal it out.
So we get that Worf has been captured though, and we understand what they want from him. Although I don't know what value it has. Yeah, he's like,
we'll hold him hostage. When you mean like from the Klingons that just want an honorable death and don't care about like their soldiers? No, we'll hold him hostage for the Enterprise. You mean the place he doesn't work for anymore? Damn.
The people who bailed as soon as he got involved in the Civil War, who let us fire on his ship like 1 billion times without helping. Those guys. Yeah, best hostage ever.
I'm starting to rethink the strategic value of our hostage.
Worf, tell us the tactical secrets of Starfleet. Okay, the first thing is you never want to draw too fast. Things happen fast in space. You got to judge, and then judge a little more and then shoot. Okay, you got to be slow in the draw.
If you didn't have 3 meetings before pulling that trigger, you're not doing it right.
And they're like, oh wow, we did capture the worst guys. Like, I'm ready to die at any moment. I'm like, God damn it! I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah.
Have you sharpened those saw blades? I'm just saying, if I'm going to be interrogated with medical instruments, I want them to be top tier.
I'm just imagining like that Archer scene where they're like just beating the crap out of Pam, and he's like, "Who taught you how to hit your husband?" And it's like she's just like spitting blood. Like, ooh, wow! If can someone give this pansy a roll of quarters? It's like, yes. Can someone give this interrogator a knife? This is doing nothing for me.
I do like, I think we kind of glossed over it, Gowron not just being a stock good guy. Yeah. Like, he's competent enough at war, and then they made the Duras sisters pretty bad at it.
Yeah.
Sucks.
I mean,
because that means
we don't really have a sense of, like, how Klingon espionage works. Like, we know that there's, like, behind-the-scenes dealings, but we really don't know, like, are they good or bad? Like, is this par for the course when it comes to, like, Klingon espionage? Like, we have no way of knowing. Or are they just bad at espionage at all? I like this, though. This bit where it's like, oh, here's a hole. We should use it. He's like, or it's a trap.
Ooh. And this shows that the Romulans are pretty sharp dudes. Yeah. They made up their own technobabble stuff. Right. And now they see this obvious trap. Yeah. And this is one reason that I kind of see the Romulans as being more like the Federation. Obviously aggressive, militaristic, cynical. But they are, they do the science stuff. They think things through. They're canny enemies as opposed to just... Yeah, whoa. You're getting awfully close to the edge of that field, Sela. Yeah. That brings up a lot of uncomfortable questions. Okay? Yeah. So, come on.
Yeah, but this net's supposed to work or else the whole plot just falls through.
Like, there's a scene of the Romulan, he puts his finger in the center and he puts it out to the edge. And then it cuts to his face, and he looks like both ways, like he's doing something wrong. And then he keeps moving it past the edge. like Commander.
He's like, have our scientists figured out how to deal with this tachyon net? He's like, well, we have one theory.
It's a little wild. Can we zoom out on the screen a little bit? That's it. That's the plan.
We go around. It's brilliant.
So anyway, you can see some other names in here: Hornet, Merrimack. Hornet, I believe, was another carrier.
Yeah.
Akagi is in there. That's a Japanese ship. The Akagi is one of the ships that attacked Pearl Harbor. Hornet was one of the World War II ships in the Pacific Theater. It actually sunk the Akagi.
Yeah.
So in this smattering of ship names, there is this theme of Earth ships working together.
I would love it if, like, after, like, the ensign, like, lays in the course to 9.3, he's like, hey, Hobson, you see that? You see that following an order? That's what you do to a captain. It's like, oh yeah, you weren't aboard of the Enterprise, so you don't know, but I can actually run this entire ship by myself.
Yeah. Yeah, I really don't need you. But I guess I need you to exposit against you. Exposition monkey, come here.
Yeah.
It's like a little rhesus monkey that comes over. It's got an adorable little uniform.
It's like, all right, now, ask me this question. I'm glad you asked.
Yeah. So anyway, this is the third part of our Data story, where Data has an idea, and he's going to do the Starfleet thing. He's going to, like, disobey orders because he has information that'll help him get the mission done. Yeah,
I mean, it feels a little artificial here because, like, at some point in time, this is funny.
Yeah. Hobson is such a dick.
Yeah. But Hobson's done. But anyway, Picard eventually says, like, hey, I need to talk to Data about something because reasons. And he calls him, and Data's like, do the thing that I said. What about the Enterprise? Do the thing. And it's like, could you just say, like, hold up? Like, I mean, you have a relationship with Picard to where you can say, like, hey, Picard, I'm going to try something. Hold up. And he'd be like, belay that order. We're waiting. Data's figured something out like he always does.
I know, right? It's not like, oh yeah, the reason we didn't give Data a ship is because we thought he would go completely off the reservation and throw out tachyon pulses and shoot torpedoes at Romulans. That's the thing we're worried about with Data. So now that he's doing it, oh man, all the reservations I had about giving him a command are coming to life. It's not like that at all. It's just like, yeah, Data, this guy who's really smart that you trust implicitly isn't following your orders. There's probably a reason for that.
Yeah.
Did you guys, were you browsing some risky websites while Data was plugged in last week, Picard? Is that what happened? And you're worried you gave him a virus? Like,
yeah. This could have been interesting in, like, where they reverse the scenes where Picard's like, all right, hail Data. No response. Really? Hail him again. No response. Huh. He's probably figured something out. Let's wait.
He's probably solving the episode. Just leave him, Mr. O'Brien, leave him a voicemail. And he's like, Worf took those buttons out. We can't leave people voicemails anymore.
I don't know how to navigate Worf's macros. I could either leave him a message or fire a photon torpedo array.
Yeah. Suddenly Data's incapable of multitasking, but whatever. Lots of people make a deal of Data seeming to be emotional for these things.
Right.
And we talk a lot about how there's an alternative reason for emotions to exist because they are part of, like, a behavioral package, and Data has learned that.
Yeah.
And he knows how to use it, how to simulate those things whenever he has to. Is that what feeling is? Is that real feelings? I don't know.
Yeah, no one knows. I mean,
also, my f***ing Nokia phone would have been pissed at Hobson at this point, so
yeah,
I don't think it means much of anything. He's just a frustrating ass.
I would love it if, like, he just invaded his personal space, looking directly in the eyes, like, oh, you mean the captain knew what was right? Hobson, go clean the decks. We don't have decks. Go clean them.
And he won over the racist. That's the goal of every person who experiences bigotry.
Yeah, exactly.
Finally.
You know, bigots just need someone to, like, show them that they're competent before they abandon all of their bigotry.
It wasn't enough that he's a lieutenant commander put in place by a goddamn captain. No. He had to earn that bigot's trust, regardless of all of the work he'd already done for Starfleet. That's what I love about dealing with homophobes. When I eventually have to work twice as hard to win him over. Oh yeah, God, that's so fucking satisfying.
That's the best. That's the best, right? Oh. That's why you do it.
Hashtag goals.
That's half the. So I do like this. I kind of like how Worf, like, at least gets to hang out. But they just, like, chill long enough to, like, watch him get beat down.
There's 4 of them. There's 4 of them in one Worf.
Yeah.
But they're evil, and therefore they can't work together, which is a good, like, implicit value.
I didn't recognize that it was his brother at first, and I thought it was, like, other, like, Laurel to Duras, like, Klingons. And I was like...
there are some visual design problems with the Civil War.
I know, right? Everything's dark and red and just, it's hard to tell sometimes. And so it would be funny if, like, he's like, oh, well, he killed our leader. I guess that makes you the new leader. Because that's how Klingons work.
I don't know. Maybe Klingons see things in a different frequency, so they're like neon pink versus freaking electric yellow here. Yeah. We just don't see it.
Yeah.
But whatever. I feel like we're deprived of a Worf getting tortured scene. Yeah. Worf trying to break out. Worf like doing something clever and trying to break out on his own scene. Tyrell and friends like overrunning the Duras defenses scene.
So basically, all of like Worf agency, we miss all of that.
Yeah.
and then we miss like Tyrell just also doing some badass things.
Worf in this case is like a sexy lamp. Or I guess a 6 foot tall sexy bong. I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, he doesn't do a lot here.
Yeah.
We get some character stuff.
Yeah. Data's like, hey, look, so I know I totally ignored your messages, and I know you hate that because Starfleet regs, so you can give me some weird punishment that actually won't be a punishment because I can do it faster than anyone else.
It's okay. You only stole a little bit of a Worf episode. This reminds me of the time I reprimanded Worf. It's good times. Mr. Data, I sent you to a slap on the wrist. And you were done. I mean, he's right. He's absolutely right. Data disobeyed orders for a very good reason. He could have told Picard, but he didn't. Whatever.
Yeah.
And, he did a good job. He saved the day.
Yeah.
Allaying all those doubts about his robotness that we didn't have until Picard suddenly had them.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, it's just weird. And, like, I don't know. It's weird. And so then we kind of get this, where it's like, okay, listen, I'm going to go let the Klingons know, like, after the war's over, like, hey, listen, we got our eyes on these Romulans, so just so you know. And then Duras is like, oh, we got one more matter, we're going to kill a kid in front of you.
But this is like, it's resolution, it's cleansing, It's like, here.
Well, it's just like, he knows the Federation. Like, he knows they don't enjoy killing. It's like,
look,
and like, it isn't even in the abstract. It's like, no, we're going to slit this kid's throat in front of you. Don't leave. Stay right there.
I know they say they abhor violence and senseless death, but I mean, this kid caused a civil war. He's got to want to see that. Who doesn't love that shit?
Yeah.
I mean, he committed treason, Picard. Ain't that great?
So he's like, he's saying his one line, the one line his sisters taught him.
Yeah, and that's the tragedy of this.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a great riposte from Gowron.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, that was pretty good.
But not today.
Yeah, with crazy eyes.
Oh, man, he's so great. But, like, that is the tragedy of this, that Tyrell's a freaking kid who was used, and then this system is going to just slit him up to accomplish nothing.
Right.
Tyrell didn't do this. The Duras sisters did this. The Romulans did this.
Yeah.
And now they're like, oh yeah, Tyrell. Well, you're the person at hand, so you're going to get stuck like a pig and bleed out.
All right. Yeah. All right, Worf, here's the deal. Before you go back to the very honorable Federation, I need you to stab this kid. In front of your future commander.
Look, we've already got the cards made, and it's like a card with like picture TBD, but on the front says just honor thing, and like that cursive script. Like, once you stab him and he's dying, we're just gonna snap it and put it in the cards, send it out. It'll be great. It's a great a post Civil War memento card. Only 10,000 were made, limited edition. People are gonna love it.
So here we go. Worf having principles and integrity, which apparently are not virtues of the Klingons, which totally should be. They totally should be virtues of the Klingons. And it's weird that it isn't. Oh yeah, like, I mean, honor, integrity, loyalty, service. Like, I mean, these are the things that the Klingons should be about, but like you say, like, they only take the worst parts of, like, masculinity, toxic masculinity to, I like this, where he's like, I give you that boy's life, but now I'm taking it back.
Look, we've already printed the cards. We're just going to put the image on there.
You don't understand how important cards are to the Klingon culture.
I'm the Chancellor of the Klingon Empire, but Hallmark is scary, yo. I can't just cancel an order.
Have you ever seen Hallmark TV? All of those women just getting what's coming to them.
Look, we pay them tens of thousands of bars of gold pressed platinum to not broadcast in Cleon space. Let's can just back out now. So I don't know. He's the enemy leader.
Yeah.
Ostensibly. I think killing him is perfectly in line with the warrior culture.
So they totally didn't kill him, and then he, like, after they teleport off, he just dies at a bar somewhere. Like, this kills him anyway.
The thing is, Tyrell is so young and so naive. I feel like he would, like, muscle into the center of the council thing and be like, can I go now? So can I just go? Can I just go? Like, is that okay? When any smart person would just book it.
Yeah, just leave.
But yeah, he's a kid. That's what's messed up about it. So anyway, that is it for the episode. Final thoughts.
It's nice that we have kind of a narrative. We have a narrative and a pretty lengthy narrative for Worf kind of getting his, quote, honor back. So, he's now like a Klingon. Now he's a Klingons again. But, there was some narrative in the second part. The first part I think was fine. The second part I feel like, I don't know, it was just weird. Like it definitely felt like three different storylines with no kind of cohesion. It kind of feels like if you're gonna make this about Worf's redemption, like Worf should have had way more screen time, like doing stuff, redeeming stuff. Like every time he tried to do a redeeming thing, his brother's like, but that's not the Klingon way.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, I mean, the racist things are blah. I wish that wouldn't happen, but they happen. Yeah, I mean, so that's just, this could have been better.
It was a okay start for the first half. The second half kind of petered out and didn't know where it was going. And suddenly there's a Data story for no reason.
Right.
That really breaks up our political intrigue and Worf stories, which is super weird. So anyway, we'll see. But next week, we are going to be watching Darmok.
So let's see. The card from Netflix is Picard kind of in like, I guess like a riding jacket or something. It kind of looks like I don't know if this is his normal jacket. It doesn't look like it. It looks kind of like they were to like kind of made him ride a motorcycle, and it was a motorcycle jacket of some kind. And he has, I think, a knife in his hand. It looks like Picard's in some sort of survival situation. That's kind of what my read of the thing is. And this is what we get as a summary. Captain Picard must learn to communicate with a race who speaks in a language that is not compatible with the universal translator. Okay, neat. So like some kind of tools that are essential to the process of Starfleet fail. And so they need to use kind of good old-fashioned ingenuity and resourcefulness. Kind of weird that Picard's got to do it and not Riker, since, we're not on the bridge. I see him on the planet, so I'm sure at some point in time Riker says, hey, I should beam down there, you should stay here. He's like, nope. Nope, you're not.
Not a generally incorrect statement. No.
This kind of feels like an old like Kirk episode where it's just like, the negotiations are against us, but I have to find some way to make it happen.
It's probably just because of the outdoor shoot in the same terrain that Kirk did outdoor shoots in.
Well, there you are.
But, we will see you next week. And until then, remember Rand. The Beige and the Bold is recorded on Audacity. We watch Star Trek on Netflix. Star Trek is property, CBS Television Studios and Paramount Pictures. We post episodes of The Beige and the Bold on Anchor.com now. And if you have any questions or concerns about the podcast, please reach out to me at vanvelding@gmail.com or at vanvelding on Twitter. I would also like to thank our Patreons, Tracker by Moonlight and Miss Jess. Thank you, and remember Rand.